Well, let's return now to our story on Turkey's judicial reform strategy that was outlined by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan a short while ago in Ankara. Egemen Bagis joins us now in the studio. He is a former Minister for EU Affairs for Turkey. Thanks so much for coming in. First of all, walk us through what you think are the most significant reforms announced in this new strategy.
Actually, this is the third in a row. The first reform package was announced back in 2009, and then the second was in 2015. So 4 years after that, right the day after the EU Commission's progress report on Turkey, this strategy announcement, I think, is very vital. It has 9 important headings, but overall, it brings more transparency. It clears the lines and responsibilities of the judges, prosecutors, and attorneys. It increases the rights of attorneys to have access to a lot of documents and information. It decreases the time that prosecutors can keep someone under detention. It is very much in line with the recommendations of the Council of Europe, Venice reports, European Union reports, the Bar Association demands. And this was prepared in consultation with 13,000 judges and prosecutors whose opinions were collected, along with the bar associations in all major cities of Turkey, along with the judicial associations, not only in Turkey, but throughout the world. And as I said, institutions like European Union, European Parliament, Council of Europe, Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, they were all consulted. And the Venice Commission, which works for the Council of Europe, also made a lot of recommendations, and they were all taken into account. We have to really compliment that Minister Gül, Abdülhamit Gül, and his team prepared a very good draft, and President's leadership is very important here because he approved this and he announced it himself.
Right.
So this is not changing everything overnight. First, this package has to be presented to the Parliament for things that need legal changes in the laws. But for some procedural changes, the minister himself can issue some declarations, the president can issue some decrees. So we will see very fast some changes, but the parliament will have to work on the majority of it because there are 63 goals set in this package under 9 different headings.
Now, the president restated a commitment to the EU membership process, but it's somewhat ironic that just yesterday the European Commission came out with its report, which was arguably the most critical of Turkey's judicial system, issued since the process really began. They say Turkey is backsliding. It's kind of hard to reconcile how this much progress announced today coincides with what was announced from the European Commission just yesterday.
We shouldn't get stuck in the daily details of policy making and politics, because the EU commissioners right now who approved and announced that report are all curious if they'll have a job next week, because there's a bad horse trading going on right now, a huge bargain going on right now to see which country is going to get which portfolio and who's going to be the head of the commission, who's going to be the head of the parliament, and how the responsibilities will be distributed after the shocking results of the European Parliament elections. And Turkey is a great scapegoat to blame. You push Turkey aside, you insult Turkey, and then all of a sudden you look good within your party and you get a better job or better portfolio. So the report of yesterday, unfortunately, has been exploited by political expectations. But this judicial reform package is promising, and I hope we are going to see better days in the near future.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming in. We greatly appreciate it.